shower. Let's get some rain Wednesday night into Thursday. Number 10 is away myself.
Now, an hour of clarity for exhausted people of our nation, mired in toxic partisanship. Left versus right, us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, we and some of the great challenges of our time. We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch. It's as close as it gets.
All right, welcome to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson today. Thank you for joining us here on WSL Live until 2 p.m. Give us a call if you want to participate in the show. 585-346-3000. 585-346-3000. Of course, you're streaming online to on the Free Solution Facebook page, a Free Solution YouTube channel, Free Solution group, all those links and Kevin Wilson pages too. So thanks again for joining us. So today I want to talk about the move I made to marijuana. I asked a question that was by managing the war on drugs, and the quick answer to that is no, probably not. Unfortunately, it's just not happening. And but he did make an announcement related to marijuana. He made this announcement about how he is targeting some folks, how he is asking folks to reschedule marijuana, and he's asking different governors to target folks in marijuana. So I'll just go ahead and read exactly what he said. So, we'll have a baseline. Here's the fact of what he said. He put it out on Twitter and some other places. First, targeting all prior federal offenses of simple possession of marijuana. There are thousands of people who were previously convicted of simple possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities. As a result, my pardon will remove this burden. Second, I'm calling on governors to pardon simple state marijuana possession offenses, just as no one should be in federal prison solely for possessing marijuana. No one should be in local jail or state prison for that reason either. Third, we classified marijuana as same level as heroin and more serious than fentanyl. It makes no sense. I'm asking Secretary Vergara and the Attorney General to initiate the process of reviewing scheduled under federal law. And so as I said, and here's the thing about that again. If we do all that, if we do all those things, great. That's great. This rescheduling marijuana has been something that has been on like the libertarian platform for many years. Like at the very least, let's talk about like talk about marijuana in a different way than like heroin, right? Like it's just a different level of seriousness in terms of the war on drugs. It ought to be treated differently. And the other thing is that the confession really goes straight up to jail for marijuana. No, absolutely not. Should anyone be in jail for possessing marijuana? No, they shouldn't be as ridiculous as they would be. And trying to fix that problem is great. It's admirable. It's great. That being said, there's currently no one in federal prison for simple marijuana possession. No one at all is in federal prison for marijuana possession at all. I've talked about that quite a bit. It's something that mostly gets enforced at the state level. We absolutely should make sure that no one is in jail for simple marijuana possession. That's right. I agree with that. But this doesn't actually do anything. Now, there are people who have been convicted of this, where they did get convicted of it, they might not have actually served jail time. And this does help those folks. So this is something good. It helps those folks who had a past conviction of marijuana possession. Usually does not happen at the federal level. It helps those folks be able to kind of move on with their lives. All right, cool, great. But he made it pretty clear. He explicitly said, well, the higher level possession, that type of stuff, that's not going to change at all. We're not going to do anything about that. Okay. So we have the law changes on simple possession, but all the other stuff, like, it's still gonna exist. You're still not able to, uh, sell marijuana legally. You're still not able to bank with the profits of marijuana sales legally. You're still not able to do anything uh, with uh, having a business, and that's good in theory rate you for this, right? They could in theory say that uh, you're committing a federal crime, that you could shut down your business even in places like New York or Colorado or California, where it's by state law legal. They can still shut that down. That hasn't changed yet. The only things that could change are someone who was in possession of marijuana and it maybe it gets reclassified. But that's it. We reclassify marijuana and reclassify that. We just said someone should research it. We just said, hey, we're going to start researching this. Well, great. That's good. Except for the problem is that it's kind of hard to research it. It's kind of hard for them to come up with kind of good quality data to say, yes, this is why we should reclassify marijuana, because you're not allowed to research it. That's the whole point of the classification system, is that there's no use for this drug. There's no medically appropriate use for this drug, so it's going to be illegal to study it. And that's the problem that we end up getting, is that we end up having a system where you're not able to study it, you're not able to uh, know what the actual benefits and harms are. I mean, there are people studying it, there are people doing it, but they're oftentimes doing so in defiance of federal law. And a lot of times, these universities that would do these studies are relying on grants, sometimes from federal government, to do so, and they could jeopardize their other grants by doing research on marijuana or other Schedule One drugs. And those include like heroin, and I think LSD is up in there too, which is also kind of ridiculous. There shouldn't be. LSD shouldn't be in there as well. But you got all these barriers to even doing this. And the Biden administration will go on and say, like, well, on the rescheduling thing, that has to come from Congress. But he's taking action now. That's always been the excuse of the federal branch. That was the excuse of the Obama administration, is, well, we can't relook at this because we need to have Congress act. Okay, well, is Congress required to act or not? If they are, then, well, Congress ought to do something about it. They can and should, then great, do it. And if the executive branch can do it, fine. Then what's the actual holdup? Why do the study? Like, we know that, like, there are some medical uses for marijuana. Like, that is an established fact. There are some medical uses for this. Why is it still a Schedule One? What on earth could be the barrier to changing it at this point? And so I look at this. I look at the pardons, the fact that no one's in jail currently at the federal level for simple possessions. So, and then the third part of that is, well, asking others to do something. Great. That's cheap. That's easy. I can do that too. I can ask Kathy Hochul to pardon all people who are in jail for simple marijuana possession too. It's cool, but it doesn't actually change the thing yet. It doesn't actually change what's going on. What we really need is actual reform. And so that's what I want to get to with today's show, right? So I want to talk about, what's my skepticism? Like, is this actually a good thing, right? Is this actually a good move for President Biden to make? Does it make any difference? Is this just a cynical ploy to boost his ratings in the election, to make sure that the upcoming midterm elections are going to be a win for Democrats? Did his team do a study to say, this is the issue that's going to help carry us through the midterms and make us successful and get more people to vote for us? Is that why he's doing this? I hate to be cynical about it, but that's something we have to explore. And then, what are the other things that we're missing in this, and what other impacts could there be from making a change to federal law on marijuana? So we'll get to all that stuff. Again, going back to the first part, the pardoning part, it's great. I do think that governors should pardon folks for this. People should not be in jail for having a plant, especially something that's legal in several places. And you still hear cases of someone who, maybe they have a little bit on them from a legal state, not harming anyone, not hurting anyone, not driving dangerously or something. There's always that, but not driving dangerously. Okay, and then they're traveling through a state where suddenly it's illegal, you can go to jail for it. You can face serious life-altering consequences for a small amount of marijuana possession. That shouldn't happen. That's not a good way. That doesn't keep our country safer. That doesn't keep our community safer. We can address issues of drug use and abuse without resorting to state violence. There are other avenues for being able to tackle some of these significant problems that we haven't been able to explore effectively, in part because of the federal government, but in part because of the state government. Again, stuff has to change at a lot of different levels for this. The system that we have now related to the war on drugs and all the problems that cause didn't get built overnight, and it's not going to get dismantled overnight. It's a big system-wide problem, and a bunch of stuff needs to change about it. And importantly, I'm going to make sure before I end the show too to talk about the mass incarceration side about this. Does ending the war on drugs or even just marijuana end mass incarceration? Well, we'll talk about it. Thanks again for joining us here on Free Solution. Give us a call if you want to participate in the show, 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Talk to you soon. Thought I fixed my audio issues on the stream. I did not. Yeah. Maybe. I don't have time to set it up mid-show, but it's doing that. I'm getting an echo. All right, guys, you ain't getting station audio. No, you're fine. I'm telling the people online. No one's listening now. They all left because the audio stunk.